Hey, welcome once again to SoCo Chat, a podcast where we discuss all things related to Sonoma County in this wonderful corner of California. I'm your host, Paul Gullickson, Communications Manager for the County of Sonoma, and today we have a chance to really dive into the beauty of this place we call home. Whether it's from the beautiful coastal views of Sea Ranch Park, the woodland trails and the foothills, or the breathtaking views on Hood Mountain. Sonoma County has no shortage of amazing parks. In today's interview, we're going to be speaking with Bert Whitaker, the director of Sonoma County Regional Parks, the department that manages all of our park system. We want to with Bert about all things related to parks, but before we do, we would like to remind our audience of our weekly trivia question. Our question this week is this: with baseball in full swing, can you name the last Sonoma County student who was drafted in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft? Here's a hint. He currently plays for the Detroit Tigers. Again, we're looking for the name of the last Sonoma County student drafted in the Major League Baseball draft's first round. If you know the answer, call us at 707-565-2242 or email us at publicaffairs@sonoma-county.org. Once again, that's public affairs, one word, at sonoma-county.org. Submit your answer to today, and you will be entered into our weekly drawing for a chance to win one of our new limited edition SoCo Chat coffee mugs. But for now, let's get on with our discussion. Bert, thank you for being here.
Paul, thanks for having me today. It's great to be here.
Yeah, well, in our beautiful, I wish we were outside doing this. Let's be honest.
I know the
it's
sun
a beautiful
just finally
day.
broke through and it's gorgeous out there. But we'll talk about parks so we can just channel our
There
park
you go.
spirit
Let's
together.
visualize today. Well, let's start with a reminder. I mean, how many parks in all are we talking about? I mean, Sonoma County is so beautiful. How many do you oversee?
Paul, we're really lucky. We've got over 50 parks here in
my
Sonoma
gosh.
County. And as you hear me keep chatting about them, what I'm going to be telling you about is these parks keep getting bigger and better, and in fact, more important to our health as time goes by.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And now you not only manage all of these spaces, but you manage the many activities that take place in these parks, including camping, fishing, horseback riding. Is that right?
Yeah, a multitude of outdoor recreation experiences that we provide for the public, as well as we have our own team actually really working hard to get out there and get people on the ground learning new things and how to enjoy these places and celebrate the amazing bounty of resources in the county.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to remind people that they don't have to go to our national parks to do some camping. They can actually do it right here in Sonoma County. For example, how many parks that allow camping here?
Yeah, we've got about, if I start talking campgrounds in the Sonoma County, we've got 4 facilities along the coast. Certainly Doran, one of the most beloved
That's beautiful out
campgrounds in
there.
the whole region. And many incredible family events and outings that happen at Doran each year. And a couple of facilities up on the coast, and then even inland here at Spring Lake, one of our local campgrounds right here in Santa Rosa. It's an amazing escape from the city. You just take 2 turns on the road, and suddenly you're in this, like, you think you're out in Timbuktu, but it's right here in the middle of Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
And if you really want to be on the wild side, Paul, load up your backpack. And we've got the backpacking opportunities up at Hood Mountain Regional Park that a little delayed right now. It's been a bit impacted up there with the fire experiences the last number of years, but we're working to get those opportunities back out there for the public. And just it's so important to get out these days with your family, with your friends, and have those multi-day experiences out in nature, out enjoying the facilities.
Yeah. Well, I've actually had the benefit of camping at all of those locations.
Wonderful.
And I have to say, camping at Spring Lake is really nice because if I can get up early in the morning and drive home for a cup of coffee and come back because I live close on that side of town. But there's beautiful in Hood Mountain, and certainly Doran Beach is fantastic. So nothing like waking up next to the sand.
No, special places, and just it's really fun to be in the role of director here, and just to hear the stories from folks who, the majority of them have a wonderful, incredible experience. They want to share just these interactions of learning something from the staff or one of the docents out there, or just seeing something they've never seen before out in nature.
And it is amazing. I mean, we do benefit from the fact that beauty is so close to us that you can feel like you're far away from home when it's not that far a drive for many people.
Yeah, if you use your parks regularly, you can really get the feeling like life in Sonoma County is like being on vacation. It's really special.
We are so spoiled. So just on to camping, how can people make reservations for these sites?
I say that's a top 3 question over the Parks Department. So it's important to recognize that our campgrounds are extremely popular. Folks want to get here and they want to enjoy it. And I'll tell you the little secret. The campgrounds actually operate on what's called a 12-month rolling calendar. Yes, that's kind of a bureaucratic term, but basically, always you can book 1 year in advance. So what I certainly encourage people is, hey, because the campgrounds are busy, it's really hard just to spontaneously, check our site. We do have real time. If a cancellation happens,
Sometimes
you can
place
luck
open
out
up.
and get in there.
Yeah.
But really, if you're out camping, like set that time with family and friends and just get it on a calendar on annual basis. Unfortunately, that's the reality with our campsites. It's very similar to how the state and federal campsites work. But you got to look at those dates and really just be prepared to jump on our system. We've got a great online camping reservation system. It will walk you through it, makes it seamless, and get those sites.
Yeah, and they're very affordable, and they are easy to get but you need to plan ahead a little bit
planning
because there
goes
is
a
demand.
long ways.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and now your department wants to add even more parks to this area. Can you let our listeners know more about the upcoming park openings you have?
Absolutely.
Or work you're doing?
The regional park system, I mean, we're really lucky. We've experienced a tremendous amount of growth over the last decade. Really a lot of this in partnership with our amazing Sonoma County Agricultural Preservation and Open Space District. Which for the listeners, we actually really made a decision many years ago in Sonoma County to put a sales tax on that helps secure these open spaces and protect them in perpetuity. And Regional Parks has really jumped in over the last decade to create those spaces. These are those places like Taylor Mountain Regional Park, North Snow Mountain Regional Park. If you're talking about real recent stuff, in real time right now, we've just in our partnership with Ag and Open Space. You can go out now to Chancellor Ranch, amazing 400 acres on the coast.
It is
just
so beautiful.
Above Bodega Bay. And it's a life-changing experience to go up there and see those views. And it's just our amazing coastline and getting up above it and seeing the animals out there in Salmon Creek and the watershed with the ocean roaring and the waves rumbling in the background. It is really special that we're living in a time where we have the ability to onboard these places and really shore up what we need to protect for the future for Sonoma County, to protect the landscape and most certainly protect our environment, these important watersheds.
So are tours available for Chancellor Ranch now? I mean, it's a beautiful stretch of land.
Even better
right
than tours, Paul. You can go out there and park your car.
Oh, you can just do it on your own.
Go for a nice 2 to 4 mile stroll out
fantastic.
there. It's drying out. It has been a little bit wet the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I might encourage folks to wait a few weeks out there, but it really is. It's a game-changing experience. In addition to that, a lot of our parks have gotten bigger. That's been a big impetus, is to be acquiring additional lands. If you've been following the recent news, we've been able to make Hood Mountain Regional Park about 1,400 acres larger with two just really important acquisitions. One that really connects Hood Mountain to its adjacent state park, which is Sugarloaf Ridge. This long-standing idea to be able to really go up there and circumnavigate around the Miacamas is now a reality. We're working on the planning to get the trails in. And making other big important acquisitions to protect all the Santa Rosa Creek watershed, the headwaters. These are also really important areas for wildfire safety and proper vegetation management around our urban corridors. These places have experienced wildfires in recent history, and we're really working hard to get our resources on the ground, working certainly closely with CAL FIRE and other partners to plan for the future, because we expect a drier, warmer Sonoma County in the future and getting our landscape ready to adapt to those changes.
Yeah. Well, Hood Mountain is a great place to go see how the transformative impacts of wildfires. You can see nature coming back. You see it restoring itself.
It's incredible. It's incredible watching.
It really is. It's Yeah,
and it really gives you a sense of sort of the longer history of Sonoma County and sort of why this landscape looks the way it looks with the oak woodlands, the rolling grasslands, and just the diversity of the county. You kind of started off talking about the amazing thing that we've got the coast, we've got the rivers, we've got the mountaintops, we've got the valleys, and all of them at this little footprint in Northern California. It's a really, really special place of just biodiversity.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Well, we also have Mark West. Tell us about the Mark West Park that you guys are working on.
Yeah. No, Mark West Regional Park and Open Space Preserve it's truly one of the gems. I mean, this was well over a decade in the making. It's still in a planning phase where we're working really hard to determine what the future trail system, what the future facilities will look like out there. But it's really neat. It's about 1,000 acres. It's about 15 minutes from downtown Santa Rosa.
That's it.
And right now, the folks actually, the public can get out there and take a stroll. We offer usually monthly a program called Park Previews, and you can essentially go out there between 9 and 3 and go stroll around on your own and go check it out. There's about 4.5 to 5 miles of trails right now. You can really meander right there along Mark West Creek up in the upper part of the watershed, which is just spectacular. And even climb up high up on the ridgetops and start seeing just these amazing views to the north of Pepperwood Preserve and Safari West, that part of the Miacamas, northern parts of Santa Rosa. And it really just it's quite a transformative experience to be down the lowlands and just suddenly peek up when you've got these amazing 360 views and parts of the county that most people you don't really see them from
Yeah.
driving around the road networks.
Yeah.
These special little places are just the ruggedness of Sonoma County.
Well, I'm sure on a day like today, it's fantastic up there. I'm sure the views are spectacular.
Today would be special. Today's one of those like cloud watching days where you'll just be like, oh my gosh, the scenery is changing literally by the minute.
Yeah, and it's a special project, and you're actually now really asking the public to help you formulate what it's going to look like, right?
That's
to be
correct.
involved and helping you make decisions about what they want from this park.
Absolutely. We want to hear from our park loving community,
Hmm.
of which there are many. And right now there's an open survey. You can access it via our Sonoma County Regional Parks website as well as our social channels on Facebook. But yeah, we want to hear those activities. Do you like to hike? Do you like to run? Would you like to have an overnight experience? Would you like to be able to walk your dog out there? All those types of things. What we want to hear from the public, and that's really used to come back in and really inform ultimately what we'll present is a plan.
Hmm. And how can people contribute? What's the best way for them to give you that input?
Definitely, at this moment in time, definitely the best way is to log on the website and go into
just
that,
go right
go
in
into
there.
that survey
Okay.
and just share all the information you have. You get really brief responses from folks who are very focused. They want to be able to do the one thing they love,
Right.
no matter
Yeah,
what.
this is what I want.
And then other folks who really see a broad pinstroke of what opportunities are out there and what they would like to see in the future, and knowing that this is really, these plans are typically kind of 20 to 30 year plans for the park property. What we'll start working on immediately once they're approved.
Well, that's exciting. It's a great opportunity, and we encourage the public to take advantage of that.
Please
I'll
do.
let- so, you recently updated our parks benefit from the fact that the voters in 2018 approved Measure M, which is a sales tax that where 2/3 of the funds go directly to our parks. And you recently released a report where you detailed how you've spent that 10 million
Yeah.
you've gotten from that fund. That's incredible. Can you give us a little bit more about that?
Definitely. And yeah, we're so pleased to have the support of the community. That the passing of the Parks for All Measure M sales tax really stabilized the regional park system as well as the 9 cities actually
Right.
share in some of the revenues.
They
from
get
that
a third of that fund.
They get a third of it. And what we're seeing across the county is just it's really been a renaissance of sort of providing that funding gap. Many
Mhm.
times we had funds to go out and do a project, but we didn't have that last little bit. The costs are always increasing, opportunities are always expanding, and really the sales tax for us in the cities is really put our organizations in a position of parks are on level footing. I mean, the main focus of those funds is really to sustain and take care of what we have, and
Yeah.
we've done an incredible job of being able to reinvest into many of our beloved facilities, places like Rago Ranch. We're completely redeveloping Maxwell Farms Regional Park down at Sonoma. Um, as well as actually increasing access. And that's where we were talking about some of the new additions to parks and open spaces, but really trying to develop a community where our open spaces surround our communities. They're interconnected with our communities and with themselves. And really this bold future that much of the Bay Area actually does enjoy with these large tracts of open space and really for the habitat protection, but is just as equally important as the healthy benefits of the public being able to go out their back door and get the space. And especially as we're increasingly into urbanizing
Yeah.
the 101 corridor. The final piece of the sales tax really is focused on investing in natural resource management. It's something that is the park system, the regional park system has grown now to we're probably around 18,000 acres. We have real needs to get out there on the ground to actually take care of this stuff ecologically. We've got crews out right now really leveraging state and federal dollars to go out there and do vegetation work with shaded fuel breaks, but also doing significant landscape scale restoration activities up in upper watershed areas, looking at fish issues and coho and salmon preservation, all sorts of just amazing things that are relatively recent in regional parks and the county being involved with, like actually on the ground. So that's an exciting time. And really what we've seen is we're now about 6 years into having this stable revenue source. The facilities are all on a track and they're going through their genesis to actually becoming the new enhanced trails that we'd like to see out there, things that are really not erosional. It's a better experience for the public. Certainly making massive investments into improving accessibility.
Right.
We have an aging population and we have folks that need to get out and really trying to think through like how do we take especially some of these more rugged facilities and really make those enhancements so that it is accessible to as many people as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you see projects all over. I mean, and small and large, right? I mean, just from replacing park benches or fixing restrooms and upgrading, you see these improvements all over, and it is really a benefit from that. You had one of your upgrades involved a Spring Lake Regional Park. Can you tell us what's going on over there?
No, we have had a lot of fun. We just as 2023 wrapped up, we celebrated the end of the 50th anniversary
Yeah,
of
that's
Spring Lake
right.
Park,
It was 50
which
years.
that incredibly special place has changed so many lives and made the quality of life so much better, not just for Santa Rosa, but for the whole area. It's sort of the go-to regional recreational facility.
Yeah.
I got to give big props to Sonoma Water, who actually owns and works really closely with us to provide the recreational services we provide out there. But yeah, we've made massive investments out there. If you haven't visited the park lately, when you get out there, what you're going to see is all sorts of new signage. The restrooms, they've finally got their 20 year sort of updated makeover with a fresh coat of paint and new water saving devices and features in them. Right now we're just finished actually installing a bunch of bear boxes and retrofitting all the trash cans and stuff out the park for wildlife friendly.
Oh, fantastic!
To keep the critters, the squirrels and the raccoons tend to like eating people's picnics, so we're trying to keep that all balanced off. And just ongoing investments out there. There's lots and lots of use out at Spring Lake, which means a fair bit of wear and tear, and always trying to take care of that facility.
Yeah. Well, it's loved a great deal. So you gotta
and summer is almost here. We're getting ready for, of course, one of my personal favorites, water park season.
Yep.
It should be bigger and better out there. So get your family out there and go bounce around on that thing. It's good fun for everyone.
It is fun. Yeah, that's great. I mean, Spring Lake is such a great example because it's such an amalgam of resources right in that area, intersection of the parks, the state parks, the water agency, city parks. They're all interconnected there, and the teamwork that it takes to make that work and preserve it is fantastic.
Yeah, it is such a unique relationship there between the city, the county, and the state of the Howarth Park leading into Spring Lake, and then it's the front door into Annandale State Park, and all three of them are just, if you go out there on any weekend, it is just miles and miles of folks out there getting their exercise and out there with their strollers and their dogs and just having a good old time.
And people just enjoy being outside. They don't know whether their trail takes them from a city park to a county park to a state park.
They generally don't know, and generally I found they don't care.
They
just
don't
happen
care.
to be out there.
Yeah, but we know that. Well, I appreciate that. Well, as we mentioned earlier, you do more than just manage these places. You manage these activities that go on there, and that does include. Speaking of summer, we have kayak lessons, yoga in the park. You have, and of course summer camps. Can you tell us more about some of that and where people can find out information
Absolutely,
about it?
yeah. All this stuff is definitely you want to go immediately to SonomaCountyParks.org.
Okay.
There's actually a calendar of events in there that will show when all these things are available. Summer camps. Big. If you haven't already registered, you better get there quickly. There are not many spots left. But that's an area we run a lot of those out at Spring Lake, some of them out at other park locations, and just amazing ability to get out there and learn more about the park setting and actually have some really fun outdoor recreation. As you mentioned, the yoga in the park. We're coming into water season. We're having more kayaking classes and stand-up paddleboarding classes have been really popular the last couple of years with folks, getting their new Christmas present and wanting to get out there in the water and learn how to use it safely.
Yeah.
Along the Russian River as well. We do all sorts of activities. One of my personal favorite ones is, I don't know if it's on the calendar yet, but watch it if it is, the full moon kayaking experience out at Riverfront Regional Park.
Oh, I want to sign up for that.
Which is just an incredible place to get out there. You got these views of Mount St. Helene in the background. You're on the water. The birds are flying over, and the moon it looks unbelievable.
Bert, you're going to get me dusting off my kayak.
I know. What are we doing in here? We need to go home and get our garage.
I know.
Get stuff out of the
We
garage.
got to clean all that stuff out. Well, of course, the other thing that you guys oversee and watch, observe is our wildlife. We have some incredible wildlife in our parks, and you spend a good deal of investment in photography and taking photos of this wildlife and make that available on the website and other places. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. That's our Wildlife Wednesday program. Which Wednesday, I'm always peeled to my social channels, waiting to see what we upload. But yeah, we've got a pretty robust network of wildlife monitoring cameras across many facilities on many of our more remote open spaces, just to understand what's going on out there. Conversely, we also stick some of these wildlife cameras in some of our very urban open spaces
to see what's there
along the creeks. And what's really magical is you realize that the mammals and these small little critters, and some of them not so small, they're actually all over the county. They're walking around at night. we just don't really see them a lot during the day. One of my personal favorite ones is down along Sonoma Creek. It's just right next to the town of Sonoma. I mean, you could throw a rock and hit the shopping center. And we got this camera shot that I think of the post we put out is like, can you predict what's normally not supposed to be here? Of course, of the 7 or 8 animals, you start off with a little skunk and then a squirrel and then the frog comes by, and then you've got the badger that walks up by, and then the beaver comes up out of the creek and hangs out for a while. And like, there's a beaver in the town of Sonoma. Yeah, there's actually like 3 of them that we've documented. Don't quite get the bear footage down in town, but you get out of the hinterlands and suddenly you start seeing a significant number of bear activity as well as mountain lions, which are up here living and coexisting with us for the most part with no issues whatsoever.
It is amazing. And the public can see those cameras, right? They can go online and see them?
They're not available online. It's the data is collected by our staff and by interns that will work with us, and then essentially there's a program that helps go through and sort of pick out the images.
And they share those.
Correct. Yeah. We compile those and put those together usually to try and to tell a story. We're trying to interweave in a lot of public education. We found definitely as folks open their eyes and better understand what is out there, they're more appreciative and want to continue to preserve it, and in fact preserve more of it, which is part of our mission.
Yeah, well, that education is such a key part of that. And we're going to have to save that for another
That's a whole other
version of SoCo Chat, but that is such a critical part of what you do. Well, I want to just real quick, if you would mind, tell us, how long have you been director, and how did you get into this position? A little bit more on the personal side.
Yeah, no, I've been coming up almost 7 years now. Wow. I've been the director. I've been involved with Sonoma County Regional Parks for about well over 20 years now.
Oh my gosh.
I started way back in the day out at as a lifeguard working at Memorial Beach up in Healdsburg.
Oh, that was your start?
Yeah. And have been having a grand time over the last number of years, just taking on different roles and responsibilities within the organization. And it's a lot of fun actually getting to lead the organization at this point in time. Like I said, there's a lot of really, really exciting and profound things happening with regional parks. So we're growing up and connecting our park system the way we always envisioned it.
Well, that's fantastic. And so I always like to ask this: what is you like most about your job?
My job is fascinating because it's really incredible, and I've always been so appreciative of, as the system has grown, I get to go out and see these lands when they're being acquired. These are private properties that are being brought into the public system. And it's one thing to be out there, and it's Sonoma County. There are incredible views, and my brain starts immediately racing, like, oh my gosh, people are going to be just shocked and awed by what they see on these experiences. And it takes a little bit of time to get them up and open for the public. The most gratifying thing I think I've still worked to wrap my head around is, as these things get open and the public starts using them, just to wrap my head around how important. And that was something that was not available before. The County of Sonoma and Regional Parks and these other partners really got in and made that happen for us. Getting outdoors in this day and age is so important to our health. We can't have enough of these facilities. You can't overpark or overtrail an area. These things are well utilized, and the folks that get out there, you just feel the energy, and you see them coming back to their cars, and they took on a new challenge. They saw something new, and they're jazzed about it. And that is very energizing to me, and something that just gives major gratitude for everyone being supportive of our efforts.
Yeah, well, I think that's great. I think the love of our outdoors and our parks is certainly a unifying force in our county, and we appreciate all that you do. One last question. Do you have a favorite spot you like to go to, a trail or a view, or it's hard to pick among your children, but tell us where's your go-to spot?
Well, I'll tell you the way I usually answer this question. Usually, it's your favorite park, but favorite spot would be the same thing. It's I think of the parks as a family. There's infinite number of things that with the over 50 facilities around the county that you can see and do. I think it's really important to not nail yourself down to one particular favorite spot. There's no favorite, but depending on what's going on with the season or the weather or the physical challenge I'm looking for or the community I'm with or the people I'm out with, there is always something that is a truly remarkable experience, no matter what day of the week it is, no matter who is with me, no matter what I want to achieve, and really leveraging off this system of parks. We all have our go-to places that are our back door. They're convenient and easy to get to. But I would just certainly encourage, get our parks map, get the park membership, go out there and explore these places. You will be amazed at the little treasures you will find in some of these massive and grand multi-thousand acre preserves, as well as some of these small 10 and 20 acre preserves. It just preserve incredible resources for us to enjoy and appreciate.
Well, I hear you. And sometimes it depends on our mood that day. You know, sometimes my wife and I are in a Taylor Mountain mood, and some days we're in a Bodega Head mood, and you never know.
Yeah,
So,
some days you look at the coast, you're like, I'm just gonna go sit on the beach.
yeah,
It's a
which
perfectly
sounds
grand way to
great.
spend the
Which
afternoon.
sounds great right now. Well, Bert, thank you so much for being here. As a thank you, we'd like to give you one of our SoCo Chat mugs
man, I've
to
been
take with
envious
you.
and will cherish my SoCo podcast.
Awesome. And to our listeners, we would also like to give you a chance to win one of our SoCo Chat mugs. As you know, the routine. Again, if you answer our question, our trivia question today is: can you name the last Sonoma County student who was drafted in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft? And our hint today is he currently plays for the Detroit Tigers. So if you know the answer, call us at 707-565-2242 or email us at publicaffairs, one word, at sonoma-county.org. And if you submit your answer today, we will be entered into our weekly drawing. We'll do the drawing next week for a chance. So it's not just the first caller. We're going to put your names in a drawing for a chance to win one of our mugs. And if you have any other comments about this or any of our other segments, or have a suggestion for a topic for a future discussion, please email us at that same address, publicaffairs@sonoma-county.org. We hope to see you again. Again, follow us on SoCo Chat. Follow SoCo Chat on Spotify or Amazon or Apple Music, and of course, YouTube. So thank you, Bert, and we hope to see you all next time.
Thanks for having me, Paul.